to me once more. We must part now. My life goes on, but my heart won't give you up. Fair I walk away, let me hear you say it meant as much to you. So gently you touch my heart. Whoa! I will be forever yours. Oh, come what may, I won't edge a day. I'll wait for you always. Prince Lars is looking for a dance partner. Leave the past behind. Our kingdom is adopting the spirit of the East. It is time to dance. It is time to dance. A boy, a boy, a boy, do da, do do do, ba 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 do, woo woo, do ba ba, ba do 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 da. Everybody, everybody, oh ho, honey, 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 ha ha, ho ho ho, ha ha ho. What?
The west and east. We're waging war. Draco the West's great hero. Things of her love, Maria. Is she safe? Is she waiting? Ah! Oh, Maria! Oh, Maria! There we go. Please hear my voice. Oh yeah, how I long to be in summer. I mean, with you. The forces of the West fell, and the Maria's castle was taken. Prince Rawls of the East took her hand by force, but she never stopped yearning for Draco. Oh, my hero, far away now, will I ever see your smile? Love goes away like night into day. It's just a fading dream. I'm the darkness, you're the stars. Our love's brighter than the sun. For eternity, for me there can be only you, my chosen one. Lest I forget you, our solemn promise will one up take the place of spring. What shall I do? I'm lost without you. Speak to me once more. Come, Maria, follow my lead. Oops. Oh, hang on, let me get my head. There we go. Ha ha ha! Where'd he go? We must part now. My life goes on, but my heart won't give you up. Ere I walk away, let me hear you say, I meant as much to you. So gently you touched my heart, And Prince Ross is looking for a dance partner. Leave the past behind. Our kingdom is adopting the spirit of the East. Okay. The survivors of the West attack! Impossible! Attack! Wait! Wahaha! Oh, ah! Maria! Maria will finally have to become my queen for the rest of my life. I'll keep you in summer. I mean near. Well, it's a duel. Alright, gang, see? Here's the plan. We're gonna drop the TARDIS on Maria. Alright? Wait, what's that? Giant rat!
Yes, we are now back.
It's a duel.
Yeah, I'd say essentially.
Good job,
it's hands
LCC.
down.
Yeah.
LCC.
LCC.
LCC was okay. Yeah. But yeah,
You seeded the
Innovative, had gusto, bravado, and
Actually-
LCC is officially the Bill Belichick of Final Fantasy VI, or the David Serling, only playing to win, and therefore he loses the race by default.
Damn.
I was
But my
gonna say,
HDR.
out of all the operas that we've ever had, I'd say that was the most gutsy being LCC. You know, because nobody ever does that. And based on chat's reaction, yeah, it was very controversial. So, congrats on being, yeah, you.
You. Yeah.
Making up that time, though. It's all about the time. Gotta have a time.
Because nobody ever does that. And based on chat's reaction, it was very controversial. So, congrats on being, yeah. And also, yeah, just to clarify to chat, I'm voting for Essentia 10 out of 10 because she's my sister. So I hope that clears up any confusion about anything that you had, okay?
Well, at least you're honest.
Oh yeah, mute Essential stream. I think that'd be good.
I'll mute it after the rats.
So,
Oh yeah,
we're,
rats are good.
we're taking 5 minutes from Essentia's run and adding it to LCC's, right?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, mute my stream, guys. I'm listening now.
So, we're taking 5 minutes from Essentia's run and adding it to LCC's, right? Also, Insta Baby hype.
Insta baby.
Yeah, mute my stream, guys. I'm listening now.
Meanwhile, Elmax is just like, I have a game to race, guys. Please.
Alright, back to normal audio setup now.
Awesome. Well,
Alright.
that was a lot of fun. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed.
Yeah, that was good.
I
Yeah.
really like the sets and the stage direction in the opera too. That was superb. Yeah.
Dude, I'm second place. Nice.
Oh, great.
Alright, so I guess we'll kind of follow along with Essentia's stream though, as far as the actually talking about the run that the other players have already gone past.
Yeah. I don't know what to talk about for hers though. I mean, we just had the Ultros battle, which is happening in LCC's fight right now.
Yeah.
It's very fast though. It's shamefully fast.
Yeah, because Ultros is weak to fire, and you can back attack him because of how the fight is set up as a side attack. So Sabin with the fire knuckle, the Genji glove, can and then summoning Ramu and using the drill takes him down really fast, and that's good too because it's a weird fight because if Ultros gets extra turns, he moves around the area, and every time he moves, it counts as a different monster basically. So he has different HP values for every position he appears on the floor. So we really want to take him out before he does that. But fortunately, that is not an issue. Alright, and then Dream Boom's almost to number 24. I guess we'll talk about Ifrit and Shiva when Essentia and LCC get there. So one of the routing things that they did too was to teach Locke the sleep spell, It usually happens off of the rat battles before during the opera sequence. But if you actually get lucky and only get 3 rats, then you have to fight something in the Magitech factory to finish learning sleep. But that's generally faster than forcing a 4th rat battle. So number 24 is conveniently not immune to sleep. I guess it's like sleep mode for computers.
It's so funny.
Yeah, so normally number 24 can change its elemental weakness, and but putting it to sleep prevents it from doing that, and then only using magical type attacks will let you kill him either before he wakes up or then immediately afterwards. And so that's why they're using Edgar's flash instead of drill, because using drill would wake him up.
Also, he has an item that's worth quite a bit that Locke's trying to steal.
Yeah, Rune Edge.
I thought the Rune Edge was the rare, or what's the rare steel?
Rune Edge is the common steel. Rare steel is a drainer, which is it's technically a better weapon, but because it's unique, you can't sell it. Unique items in FF6 you only sell for 1 GP.
Yeah, apparently people really don't like to be collectors in the game. They're like, that's rare? Ugh, whatever. I want that common potion more than that, yeah. But yeah, he stole the Rune Edge. That'll be good. Mostly just to sell. No one's going to use it.
Yeah, it's just, it's an okay sword. I think it consumes your MP in order to give you guaranteed criticals, but the only reason we want to steal it is to sell. Same for the Break Blade that they picked up right before getting to number 24. Because in maybe about 45 minutes or so, they're going to need a pretty sizable chunk of money to buy rods. And most of that's going to come from selling stuff.
Oh yeah, good old rod times. Rods, let's see. A lot of the rods are... I know there's an ice rod that's used in the house in Thamasa. And some of the rods are helpful against ninjas on the floating continent. Where else do they get used? I forget.
Tentacles.
Cool. Oh, tentacles. Okay, great.
Dreamboom, your sacrifice was not in vain. Chat loved you too.
Oh yeah, you need to sacrifice your voice more often. We enjoyed it.
So I guess do we want to give all of the ratings by our unprofessional judges then for Spooniest Bard?
Oh sure, is Mike ready?
Mike was just so moved by the opera that he can't speak.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the first opera, but yes, I'm ready. So I can't judge that one.
Yeah, well, it'll be up in VOD form pretty soon because Elmegus got there first, so should only take 30 minutes.
Okay, well, yeah. I think that Essentia is my sister and had the best opera. So nepotism, it's a nepotism vote, strictly that. I don't think anything she did had any effect on my choice. It's 10 out of 10. And then next, I give Dream Bomb the 8 out of 10. I felt like that was fantastic. There's a lot of emotion. Oddly, Celis was a little too happy, though. That was very strange, you know? Because Draco was all sad and depressed, and then she's just singing like, "Oh, my hero," you know, like all beep bop boop. But it worked out. 8 out of 10. I'm giving El Magus 7 out of 10 because I loved it. I love the Mickey Mouse inspiration there. You know, we had a little Disney inspiration for both Essentia and El Magus. I do think that we'll need to auto-tune it, but it could become a pretty good opera someday.
Okay, and then LCC is just about to fight Ifrit and Shiva too. And it's definitely a place to safety save in a race because, I mean, the timing isn't terrible, but the game can randomly troll you sometimes. So the way this fight normally works is that every time you attack Ifrit or Shiva a couple of times, the game will swap them. But during the time that they're swapping, there's a brief period where the game doesn't recognize that there's a boss on screen. So what they're able to do then is they're able to buffer attempting to run away, and then hit Ifrit 5 times with physical attacks to get him to switch to Shiva, and then you can run away. Which skips what would otherwise be a pretty nasty fight.
I remember as a kid doing the whole cart sequence over and over and over again because I could not beat it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then it was like, could I go left? Could I go right? Why do I keep going left every time there's a junction? Hold the buttons and hope I went a different way, but nope. Always left. Always left.
And then the fights you get on the minecart follow kind of special rules that are separate from other fights, and that there's a number of factors that all kind of work together, including like who your party leader is, what status conditions you have, and then putting Sabin as the party leader will change up the mag rotor battles that you get kind of the highest possible number of red mag rotors, which give you the most money. Basically, is kind of the bottom line. And then for number 128, which Green Boom is fighting right now, he's using Shoat strats, I see, which is where the 2 arms are not immune to petrify. So using Shoat to petrify the 2 arms then lets you use Sabin's Orbital to guarantee hitting the body, because ordinarily blitzes can't be targeted. So you might hit one of the arms by mistake if you're using blitzes. And kind of an older strat that a lot of people used to use was to buy a weapon upgrade for Sabin, a Kaiser Knuckle, and then just have him attack from the front row with that. But this ends up being faster. I mean, there's a little bit more luck required because of potential of missing one or both of the arms with Shoat, but in general, it ends up giving you a faster fight. And that right there, even though one of the arms regenerated for Dream Boom, he'd already input the blitz before that finished happening, so he was still guaranteed to hit the body. And then coming up right away after number 128 is the Cranes, which is the first battle that we get to see Joker Doom on. Ordinarily, if you oh, Mike, your keyboard's kind of loud, you know. Ordinarily, the game doesn't let you get 777 at will, which gives you Joker Doom, which insta kills all enemies, even if they're immune to instant death. And but there's some RNG manipulation you can do to make that possible, pretty much at will, with a couple of exceptions. And then the Cranes is the first time that happens. So the fastest way to set up Joker Doom being possible is to use an echo screen. So for a lot of battles, well, not really a lot, I guess, but for several battles coming up, the strats they're going to use is just to have one character use an echo screen and then have Setzer get his 777 using some pause buffering to simplify it. Although you only need to get the first 7 on the slots by exact position. If you have the RNG set up correctly, then the game is going to help you get the second and third. I think you only have to be within 4 real positions of the 7 to get it. So that you can just do pretty easily just by timing. But for the first one, pretty much everybody pause buffers to hit it.
Alright, it's time to fill the Joker Doom. No! No! For real? Oh, man, I don't remember the...
Oh, wow.
Oh no, Setzer, come back!
I think it's auto crossbow and 1 target and Phoenix down will do it.
Just one auto crossbow? Okay.
Yeah, auto crossbow and Phoenix down. He dies.
Okay. Another Phoenix down, or I just choose one? It's already...
Just auto crossbow.
Okay. Please do not...
Oh, good. Oh. Oh, wait.
No!
No.
No!
Oh! No.
Oh, no.
Okay, now I have no idea. What was your idea?
That we can
Oh,
blame.
come on, Dream Bomb. Oh, come on.
This is the game's fault, though, just because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Push
That-
two things down.
The double team is really the only thing that can happen there that can really screw you. Because if he gets hit by the crane from behind, it does double damage, so it's going to kill him.
There's no way I'm going to, wait. Maybe. Let me check.
How long is it safe before that, actually?
It's not too long as you did save.
Yeah, there's no point doing trying.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you if either you miss the slots or you get trolled, like just happened to Dream Boom, then recovering from it is a bit more complicated than you'd think, because I mean, getting to the first RNG value that allows Joker Doom is easy because you just have to use a Phoenix down. But then if you need to do it again, then that gets more complicated. Like the most common recovery is if you try for Joker Doom and then fail by getting the wrong slots reels, then you have to use a couple of items and abilities to restage it. Like the common one is to do slots again to get Lagomorph, and then use both another Echo Screen and a potion or high potion, which then stages it right. But kind of it can get dicey really fast in a lot of fights that you use Joker Doom on, just because I mean it's a trick that you're using to be able to win battles at a massively lower level than you're intended to. So it's pretty precarious as far as
Yeah, that was really, really unlucky.
Yeah, well, okay,
Safe
good.
to
Well,
say.
good. At least you saved right before the cranes instead of like
Yeah,
having
that's
to redo
true, that's true.
redo the minecart. Oh, looks like Essentia had a little bad luck on number 128 too, as far as not petrifying both arms, but she still hit the body with 7. I see she also learned slow too. I'm sure LCC did too, and that's something you can do to make the fight safer after the arms are dead, because number 128 always does haste for its next turn after both arms are dead.
Alright.
And that makes the fight a lot more dangerous because it can use Atomic Ray, I think 1 or 2 turns after that, which does like 200 some damage and has a pretty decent chance of leading to a death. But if you slow him, then that removes that completely as a risk. Really, just it's really kind of a testament to just how much planning there is behind anything and everything that can happen that's within your control in a run like this.
Very true. I'm just thinking, despite how much you can plan, there are still crazy things that can happen. And, I just feel so bad for Dream Bomb. Oh. But there's
He saved right before the cranes, though, so it's
yeah,
a couple minutes, but it could have been much worse.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's not so bad.
true.
Like if I was dying against at my weapon, then it would be more troublesome for me. Because I would have to do the whole falling continent again.
Now Essentia did not save, so I guess we'll see what happens.
Yep. I mean, it's pretty uncommon to have that happen, because he had both cranes gang up on Setzer, and one of them back attacked him for double damage. So that's very, very unlikely. I mean, usually like one of them will attack and the other will do like bolt on the whole party or something like that, and Setzer has enough HP to survive that. Elmagus with the 7 flush strats on the Magitech guy. Oh, I can just Dream Bomb split for the cranes. This is how this fight is kind of meant to work. As you see, they both just did weak spells targeting the whole party, and that Setzer wasn't in any danger of dying there.
Meanwhile, we have an Insta Baby being created over on Dream Bombs.
Insta baby.
Insta Baby.
Rama.
Does the drama involve a yellow M&M?
I hope so.
Well, I mean, the yellow M&M is the peanut one, right? And people can have severe peanut allergies, and that can definitely be a source of drama.
I actually need to go now, but thanks for letting me judge for that short period I was in this call.
Oh, thanks for joining us.
Oh, definitely, Mike, definitely.
And LCC is still -2 out of 10. Alright, later y'all.
You're welcome. Alright, take care, Mike.
Alright, see ya.
Does that mean we have official opera results now?
Indeed.
So how are we gonna rank them then, Brosencha?
Rank who?
Rank the operas, because that affects how many bonus game votes they get.
Well, alright, I gave Essentia 10 out of 10. Not just because she's my sister. Okay, look, that was a blatant lie. I'm usually hypercritical of her. But it was the best. It was the best. And then Dream Bomb with 8 and El Magus with 7. I love you, El Magus. Trust me, I do. You're cool. Yeah. But you're in the lead as well, so I don't feel too bad. And LCC I gave 5 because the staging was nice.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Alright, so I'll add 4 votes for Chrono Trigger. 3 for Mystic Quest. 2 for Secret of Mana. And I'll
Mystic Quest, why?
I'll grudgingly give 1 for LCC's one-line opera to Mystic Quest.
Yeah.
Also need to do LCC's Crane split.
Yeah, I already did it.
Okay, I see.
Yep, it was off screen because I had the votes up.
Lufia 2 hanging in there. Come on, Lufia.
Yeah, only 4 votes between Chrono Trigger and Lufia 2 now. And people watching too, if you have not voted yet, please do so. Once the relay is over, whichever game, we'll basically be awarding some extra bonus votes like it was another run, basically. So it'll be, if you look at the FAQ, excuse me, that's in the stream title, it has the full like voting system I cooked up for this, and whichever game wins the audience poll will get 8 votes, 2 will be 6, 3 will be 4, and 4 will be 2. And then whichever bonus game wins will be racing on my channel next weekend at a yet to be determined time based on when the runners are available.
Oh man, too many babies.
So much.
Too many. Oh man. Yeah, the stream is just so full of drama. Oh. So on the bottom right with El Magus, we have the banquet, which is fun. I don't know. You get food. Also, some of the places have like 2 cups instead of 1. It's really weird. Anyways, but what happens there? The choices are actually important in order to get the right items that you need. What they really want is that one item that causes you to get fewer random encounters. And so, which one is it called? What is it?
Charm Bangle.
Charm Bangle, that's it. It's like if I saw it, I'd know it, but I didn't see it. So yeah, he should be getting the Charm Bangle, and you have to get a really high score in the banquet in order to get that. That's determined by how many guards you talk to before the banquet, as well as the choices that you make during it. And the choices are really, at times, obscure, what you have to do.
It doesn't really, it's not something you'd really think of playing the game normally, because in order to get the best possible rewards, you have to kind of give the neutral answers to the questions. If you either kind of favor the returners or favor the Empire, then you get fewer points than if you just pick neutral answers, like leaving Kefka in jail, toasting your hometowns and stuff like that. As a kid, I just thought the banquet was random. I mean, I think there was maybe one playthrough I did where I actually got the Charm Bangle, and I just thought I'd gotten really, really lucky. And then fighting those special forces is part of getting points too, along with talking to soldiers before the banquet starts. Talking to 23 is the number they're going for.
23, yeah, it's a good amount. So anyways, he got it. Yay.
Yeah, and then other runners are about to enter the Dream Booms in the Sealed Gate Cave now, and Sentia and LCC not too far from there. You're going to be doing a bit of power leveling with Terra here. That's just to make her strong enough for the rest of the battles in the World of Balance, basically. So once you get past the disappearing bridge room in the sealed gate cave, then in the really large area, every fight that you can get here is with undead enemies, and then using either Phoenix Downs or Revivifies will insta-kill undead with no mischance. And so that's also why they only brought Terra and Locke, just because they want Terra to get all of the experience. So and Locke is the pretty much the best character you have at this point as far as running away. So Locke runs away from all of the battles, and then use Revivifies instead of Phoenix Downs because they're cheaper. Not looking good.
Oh man,
Okay.
yeah, this is not a good battle. So the reason this is okay, smoke bomb, good. So Ings are scary because they, if you use Vanish on yourself, you'll avoid their first attack, but after that they can do some magic-based attacks which will hit you if you're vanished. So that's why that battle was looking a little scary.
Yeah, they're looking for level 20, I believe, in any percent, because that's pretty much the minimum level for Terra to be able to do enough damage with both rods and also summons for upcoming battles for the rest of the World of Balance. And it pretty much always works out that if you fight everything in this large room, you'll hit level 20 right before reaching the sealed cave, or reaching the sealed gate. They also have Moduin equipped for Terra's Esper. Both Moduin and Stray will give you +1 magic attack power at gaining levels, but Moduin also teaches the second level attack spells. And we want Terra to learn Bolt 2 before the end of World of Balance. So yeah, summoning Phantom gives you the Vanish status, which makes you it makes all physical attacks automatically miss, but you have no magic evasion, and if you get hit by a magic attack, you lose the Vanish status. But all of the battles you get in here, the monsters can't do anything on the first turn to get through Vanish. The Ings can use Life Shaver starting on the second turn, which would make you lose your Vanish, but as long as you're on battle speed 6 and using the Revivifies, you can, even if you get 3 of them, you can kill all 3 of them before they get to their second turn, even if you get back attacked. Thanks to running shoes to get haste.
Got a battle in the bridge.
Oh yeah, that's the worst. Just because it's really it gets disorienting when you come off of the battle. As far as
you literally can't do anything. I'll get sucked in probably. No, I guess not. But
depends on which tile you're on in the bridge too. If it's one that actually disappears or not on the next cycle. If you fall into the lava, you just get sent back to the entrance. So that would be very cruel if you actually died for falling into the lava, which would make sense though, but. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be cool.
Yeah, it would make sense, wouldn't it?
Probably falling now, actually.
Yeah. Nitrodon's raising a good point too. That Vanish causing the target to lose all magic evasion is going to be very relevant for other reasons later in this run too.
Yeah, and that was just bad luck with enemies right there, with what happened with LCC. Yep, Dream Bomb didn't get quite the right battle
Yeah.
sim he wanted, so he's
Yeah, I
grinding
mean, well, he
just
had
a-
that. He had problems with like that pincer attack and stuff, so he did have to run from that instead of fighting it.
Yep.
I also had a lot
Unfortunately,
of Zombone between enemy formations, so
Oh yeah. Yeah, the double Zombone battles aren't worth as much experience as like triple ings or two ings and a Zombone. So if you get a lot of those, then that's not good because it means you just have to do more fighting in order to get to level 20. A cue that we all use too is that Terra and Celis both naturally learn spells when they reach certain levels because they're innate magic users, and Terra naturally learns the life spell at level 18. So when you see Terra learn life after the victory screen, and you can just kind of sync back up with it there instead of having to pay close attention to it all the way.
yeah, someone in chat asked something interesting about battle speed. Yeah, we've talked a lot about changing battle speed to 6, which is the slowest. However, that battle speed only affects the enemies. So it's actually more like a difficulty gauge than anything else. So it's strange. I never knew that as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I ever changed the battle speed all the times I played this game as a kid, and it's not really
Oh.
going to matter that much in normal play, but in speed run, you really want to minimize the number of turns that enemies get. I don't think we talked about during the battle they fought to get the black belt, or all they tried to get the black belt. It didn't really work out too well for half of the racers. They turned up the battle speed to 1 just because they wanted to one-shot the guard leader with Cyan's retort ability, which is a counterattack. And and then if they left it at battle speed 6, that would add a couple seconds because they'd have to wait for the enemy to attack and then get killed by the counter.
Looks like Essentia has made a little bit of a gain on Dream Bomb. They're about 5-6 seconds apart at this point.
Wow, that sync.
Yeah, it's really close.
As far as how they're controlling making Locke run away and not Terra, that's because characters can only run away when their ATB bar is full and also when there's not another action going on. So like when the turn order gets set so that Terra always goes last to use a Revivify on the last enemy, and then buffering L and R during the animation will get Locke to run away before the end of the fight. Just doing all of this leveling does add about maybe 2.5 to 3 minutes to the run, but it really helps with the rest of the world of balance. Just because if you left Terra at like level 12, I think is what she enters the cave at in this route, then that means you need more rods for the fights that you have to do on Thomasa sequence where you don't have Setzer. And it also means a lot more risk of dying or just losing lots of time to the Imperial Air Force. And then doing this can make the all of those battles pretty consistent. That's one of several strats that we learned from the Japanese FF6 community too, by the way, because I know before we kind of got access to watch Japanese runs through Miko videos, actually finishing a run of this game just at all, regardless of the time, was a really big achievement, just because of the amount of luck required to get through the IAF and Floating Continent alive.
Yeah, honestly, we haven't talked too much about their influence because they have done some crazy things to these games. And simply put, doesn't all translate over to the American versions, but still a lot of it does, and a lot of it.
Yeah, and
is
that's more
straight-
just because of actually rule differences rather than game differences, because there's a lot of version differences between English and Japanese FF4, but not really so much for FF6, other than just a few glitches. The main difference is just community rules, because the Japanese community doesn't use glitches, and they also require playing on battle speed 1 TB, which makes the enemies as fast as possible. It means they still get turns when you're in menus, and it means you can't use the wait trick. So I like to call that hard mode, because it increases the difficulty of the run quite a bit, and kind of changes some of the strategies you have to use. Like, I know for a battle speed 1 run, you'd have to bring 3 characters to the sealed gate cave, because you wouldn't be fast enough to kill 3 packs of ings before they get a chance to remove your vanish status. And then the way we do it is more kind of anything goes, basically. Like, we're lowering the battle speed to 6 to make enemies as slow as possible, and we're using pretty much anything within the game's programming that's allowed in order to gain time. Although this category that they're doing does ban one specific glitch called the sketch glitch. The sketch glitch is basically kind of a way to corrupt the memory of the game and do some really, really wild things, like add items to your inventory that just out of nowhere, and give yourself access to enemy abilities, and then also skip a pretty significant portion of the run. Like LCC's personal best at FF6 using the sketch glitch is, I believe, a 3:53, which is better part of an hour faster than his PB at this run, which is any percent no sketch glitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and sketch, I believe we're starting to get to the point where it's pretty much solid with the route. What LCC has done, making it solid, has been fantastic. I just, I had fun trying to find some of the stuff, but I don't know if I have the patience to route. That's one of the problems.
There's so many silly things you can do with the sketch glitch that aren't even related to speedrunning too, like creepy Sabin and.
Oh, I love that.
That's the first one I always think of. Triggering tier changes during battles.
And changing sprite colors, it's great stuff.
Giving yourself Magitech in battle is part of the speedrun sketch glitch now.
Oh, it is part of the speedrun?
Yeah.
Yeah, you use X for Vanish.
You
basically do muddle Phantom X for.
I am so happy, okay? Like, when I found that, I was like, yeah, Magitech! And the fact that it's part of the route, oh, okay, yeah, you just made me happy, LCC.
Yeah, originally it was a problem I had to route around, then I realized it was actually a good thing. It was kind of funny.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Oh, yay.
Yeah, so everybody that's not Elmagus is now coming up on the Imperial Castle. We're going to talked about it a bit with Elmagus' stream, but since people come and go during a stream as long as this one, we'll talk about it again. There's a 4-minute in-game timer that runs down before the banquet starts, and during that 4 minutes, they're going to want to talk to at least 23 of the soldiers, because that gives them points towards prizes after the banquet, along with a few other things like answers to questions that you give during the banquet, along with fighting the soldiers during the rest break too. And then the primary reason for doing that, just because there are a few pieces of that do cost time, like fighting the soldiers during the banquet rest break, is to get a charm bangle, which is a relic that reduces random encounters by about 40%, and that's going to be used for pretty much the whole rest of the run until they get a better one pretty late on, called the Moogle charm. They're also going to be getting some other cool stuff in Vector, like a Gale hairpin, which increases your preemptive rate, and a back guard, which prevents back and pincer attacks. So it's really it's starting here that random encounters even with smoke bombs, become much less of a factor in the speedrun as far as gaining or losing time. As long as you have enough characters in your party to be able to equip all of those relics that control random encounters.
A lot of questions in chat. What is Creepy 7?
Well,
So-
Rosentia, do you have a video of that? Because that would probably be
Yeah,
the
let me-
easiest
let
way
me-
to
let me
explain
go
what Creepy
find that.
7 is.
Let
Yeah,
me-
if you want to toss a video link in chat. You can't really be told. It's like the Matrix, I should say. You can't really be told what Creepy 7 is. It's something you have to experience for yourself.
All right, I posted the link there. That's part 1. You can watch part 2 if you want, but yeah, it's pretty fun. And simply put, I just endorse trying to go break games. You know, the more you play with something, the more things you find, and the more things you find, the more likely the game's going to be able to find some more exploits. It's just fun stuff. Even if some of them aren't useful, like Creepy Saving, it's still fun.
Yeah, because I mean, this game is so amazingly programmed, and there's just so many goofy things that you can do. That I mean, there's a lot that lets you beat the game faster, but also a lot that don't, and are just kind of fun to mess around with. Yeah, KB Joan in chat raises a good point too, that the fourth place FF4 run in the relay this time was over a minute faster than the first place FF4 run last relay was, thanks to both the skill of the players and also just how much the route for the game has come since then too.
Maybe next relay it'll be sub 3 hours.
Well, if it's 64 door, then I hope so.
Well,
Absolutely.
yeah, if so, it could almost be sub 2 hours. Not likely, but almost.
Yeah, a sub 2 hour 64 door route is very, very unsafe.
Yeah, but, well... Actually, yeah, in order to make that route safe for a relay or a marathon, you have to change a lot of stuff, unfortunately. It's sad.
It wouldn't be too terrible. You just, instead of doing sealed cave on 44, just do it. Well, I don't know. So it's really pretty remarkable that after almost 11 hours of gameplay, you have LCC, Dream Boom, and Essentia all within probably a minute of each other.
Well, you know, essentially to kind of wait around for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
I didn't realize she was going to do that too. Because when she said she didn't want to overlap, I thought it meant she was just going to do it, even if it was past the opera in the game. But if it would make the difference in places, we can I guess we can adjust the time a bit after the end.
Whatever you feel like.
Yeah.
I
mean,
it was also her
we're
choice.
doing this for fun is the primary reason, but
Yep.
to
no, this is
both to
serious business.
destroy these games, but also just to have a really good time on Saturday/Sunday, depending on where you live in the process.
So no $1,000. Oh, drat.
I was promised $1,000. I don't know what you're talking about. So I know I'm really not familiar with the FS6 run entirely, but what causes the banquet softlock?
No one knows.
Yeah, one of the great mysteries of the universe, along with where the characters run to when you run away from battles on the raft. All known incidents of the banquet softlock have, I believe, Edgar, I think, is the party leader.
That has changed as of yesterday.
Oh.
What?
And Kimmy had a softlock, well, out of bounds. I don't like to call it a softlock when it really isn't one. It's an out of bounds glitch. He had it with Setzer in the lead, so.
Huh.
So that theory's out of the window.
I'm trying to think.
Well, it's out of bounds that
Might be
leads to a
Setzer.
soft.
It's my lead in my Japanese any percent route, and I've never softlocked. But yeah, what I'm sure. Yeah, actually, if somebody wants to find MV's highlight of the banquet softlock and post that into chat, that's that's another thing that you really have to see to appreciate. There's just this wild glitch that sometimes happens, sometimes meaning almost never, when you talk to Gestel to trigger the start of the banquet sequence, where your party leader just kind of flies away off the screen, and then after you finish talking to Emperor Gestel, you're kind of stuck. Basically, you can't move, and if you open and close the menu, then the game will move you to actually be stuck in a wall in the Imperial Castle. So, I mean, that doesn't truly a soft lock, because you will get out of it once the 4 minutes are up, but that's pretty much the end of a speed run, because you're incapable of getting the charm bangle. Or I guess you could theoretically go back into the castle and open the chest to get the Gale hairpin and other stuff, but no charm bangle means more random encounters in the rest of the run and a lot of time lost. So yeah, it's the end of the run basically if that happens.
Let's see, I'm trying to find it. If someone beats me, though, that's fine.
You didn't get it?
Okay.
What?
So the last soldier you killed didn't count, then, is what it looks like, huh?
What?
Whenever you killed the last soldier, the timer was on 0, and then I think weird things happened, it seems.
Well, I guess running shoes, back guard, and Gale hairpin then to recoup as much as possible.
Okay, looks like Seraph got the video like 2 seconds before I did. Yeah, check that out. Enjoy. Have a good laugh.
Yeah. So, and then Vector is a little weird too, in that the only place that you can use the warp spell or warp stone to leave is the cafe. So they, in order to leave a little faster, they go into the cafe, do some equip changes that are part of the route, and then use a warp stone to leave. About half of the times they use warp stones, it's not even. It's a pretty small amount of time that they're actually saving, but it's more than 0, so no reason not to.
Wait, what happened? What happened on Essentia's stream?
Oh, what?
For what?
Oh, she looks like she's starting the banquet over again. Oh, she said she chose the wrong answer at the banquet.
Oh, ooh. But you know that's why it's important, because
Yeah.
you know,
I mean,
you don't get
if that happens, depending on when you do it, it's possible to salvage it and something depending, because Because like when Gestel asks 3 questions, the first time you ask one of the questions, you get points, and the way the optimal route works is that you only need to ask 2 questions to get enough points to get the charm bangle. But if you made some kind of minor mistake with the rest of the banquet before that, you can ask the 3rd question to recover from it. But I haven't really looked at the chart for how the points work thoroughly enough to kind of know how to recover. I pretty much just focus intently on the game when I get to the banquet and ignore chat just to make sure I don't zone out. And
Yeah, when I first
Pick
started
the wrong
out, I
thing.
messed it up a couple times, and it's really, really bad because you're like, well, I picked the wrong option. Oh well, let's move on. And I'm not even certain like resetting and reloading a save is even worth it. It probably is, but either way, it's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, still, I still think
Because
it's
I mean, not
probably-
having the charm bangle, especially on the floating continent, is pretty bad. Just because you can get ninjas, which are inescapable in FF6. No charm bangle means 40% higher encounter rate. Oh, she did try to recover and it didn't work. Okay. No, that's a bummer. But we continue.
Yep, that's how runs go.
Yeah, the next split isn't until Atmo weapon, thanks to what this next part of the run being what it is. Yeah, sadly the part of the run that's around Thamasa Island is a bit slower paced than the rest. It's got a lot of cutscenes, a lot of walking around, and not really a whole lot of interesting battles. But I'll take this any day over the equivalent parts of like Final Fantasy 7 and 9, just because those are like the first hour of Disc 3 in Final Fantasy 9 is so painful. At least with Thamasa, it's both shorter and breaks up the cutscenes with like the burning house and the Espered Mountain and stuff. Yeah, if anyone's wondering why we're just playing music instead of the game audio, normally it's both to kind of, it's because if we were playing all 4 of them at once, it would be quite chaotic sounding, and if we were only playing like one of them, that would kind of rob the other 3 of attention. But it's also to allow the runners to be on the Skype call too, without either having a bunch of echo or them having to do kind of weird things with their streaming setups. Yeah, I mean, we'll do some nice formal shoutouts at the end of the relay, but speaking of streaming setups, shoutouts to Edenol for letting us use his media restreaming server for this relay. It's just ratchets up the production value over our last relay.
Oh, this is so nice. This is great.
Like the streams all have a really nice smooth frame rate, because like if you look at the video from the first relay, it's a lot choppier, just because I was screen capping people's Twitch streams from my PC and then restreaming them, so that was kind of introducing extra lag into the process.
Yeah.
And it also means that the commentators are able to watch with a lot less delay. Like Rosentia and I are watching with only about 5 seconds behind where the runners actually are. So that makes doing commentary without being in the same physical location much easier. So a big thanks to Edenol for both letting us use the server and also giving me a lot of help with getting set up on it.
Yeah, I gotta say, it looks really good. Like, better than most marathon streams do.
I'd actually agree. Yeah, it's. I don't know. The more there are people doing this, the more there is to learn. As long as you take a look around at what other people are doing, odds are you're going to find some setup that's nice. And you know, if you look like 2 or 3 years ago, like though how far we've come is just this little community is amazing. It's so cool.
I need to buy 4 ice rods, right? Not
Yep.
5? Yep, okay. Thanks.
That floating continent hype.
Oh man, yeah. Here, it's time to see exactly how things go. Could have some pretty dangerous fights here, but could go smooth. Who knows? We'll find out.
Imagine that. Realm likes Interceptor. I wonder why.
Just don't sketch Interceptor, Realm. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, what's funny about the sketch glitch as well is that if you do the menu merge, which is one of the effects that you can get out of it, you can like use the interceptor with anyone in battle. It's just funny. It's funny to not have Shadow but see Interceptor.
Yeah.
There's another glitch that actually makes Shadow permanently lose Interceptor too, fighting a enemy that has an attack called Rippler that exchanges status conditions.
But if you cast Rippler on that enemy with someone else, you can get Interceptor permanently on them.
Is that possible without Sketch Glitch? I guess I don't know if Rippler.
Yeah, I
it
believe
is.
it is. Yes.
Yep,
So it's a
for
blue
sure.
spell. Okay.
It's considered a status effect, so Rippler just exchanges the status effect of you and the enemy. So yeah, you're basically just swapping Interceptor from person to person.
Unfortunately, if you do kill the enemy that has the Interceptor status effect, gone.
Yep, goodbye.
Yeah, it's gone.
So could you theoretically hit the enemy and then be countered by Interceptor?
I forget.
Ooh, I want to try this.
I forget. But
That sounds fun.
I want to say yes, but I really don't remember.
I just want to see him attack Realm. I really want to see him attack Realm. Oh, that would be funny. I'm not exact. Maybe that's a sick thing. Okay. That would be sad. It would be sad to see her get mauled by Shadow's dog.
So, we've got pretty much everybody except Elmagus entering the burning house now. They get on their way there. So, they have to go through, I think it's 4 total rooms to get to Flame Eater, the boss, that have these randomly moving flames that trigger battles with balloons when you touch them. The mechanics for it are kind of the same as the multi-party battles, both with the Mughals and before Kefka at Narish, but unlike in that, if one of them is moving at the same time you are, then you don't trigger the fight. But unlike those multi-party battles, the flames movement is randomized. So, and there's maybe a couple cases where it's worth your time to pause and wait for them to start moving so you can try to rush past, but generally no. Generally you pretty much just want to kind of charge straight through and hope to get lucky with their movement. Fortunately you can just run away from them though. I mean, this whole house is kind of meant to be a tutorial on Strago's blue magic ability, because he starts with Aqua Ray, which all these balloons are weak to. But
I didn't think of that. Yeah, it is sort of a tutorial for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they're gonna get both a fire and ice rod for free here, along with buying a bunch more from the weapon shop in Thamasa, which will last them the rest of the run. Because this whole sequence on Thamasa, they can't control who's in their party. It's forced to be Terralock, briefly Shadow, and then Strago and Realm, which means so therefore no Setzer and no Joker Doom. So for the next 2 bosses, they need to use rods in order to win quickly and safely. Because rods ignore enemy magic defense and do highest possible damage roll. So because of that power leveling they did with Terra, if she uses her Morph command, which doubles her magic attack power, she can kill this Flame Eater boss with one ice rod. Nice, Dream Boom got the Flame Saber Steel.
Oh, good.
He's also using the weight trick in order to prevent Terra's Morph Gauge from going down before she gets the rod off too. Because if you just queue it and then wait, if enough of the balloons attack before Terra actually uses the rod, then she might unmorph before actually doing it, which would be quite bad. And Elmagus with the first try reverse Joker Doom. Nice.
Oh, good. Yeah, the reverse Joker Doom is much more difficult than normal Joker Doom, just because there are a lot more things that can get messed up in the process. The whole muddle, if he managed to get unconfused at the right time, it would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's just a lot.
Not really a lot to say about the other runners right now, so we can go ahead and talk about reverse Joker Doom. So for the 4th and final battle with Ultros, the game locks out 777 no matter what the RNG is set to. So in order to be able to win that battle quickly, they use a glitch called reverse Joker Doom instead. Because if you get 7-7 in bar, then you normally Setzer will use Joker Doom on your party and give you a game over. But if you muddle Setzer after he's input the 7-7 bar, but before doing it, and then gets unmuddled either by getting attacked physically or by having the remedy spell cast on him, that will reverse the targeting and make the 7-7 bar version of Joker Doom target the enemy instead of your own party. So doing that, I would say that's probably the most difficult trick in FF6 speedrunning, at least execution-wise. Just because, unlike with regular Joker Doom, where you have to get the first 7 exactly, and then the game helps you get the other 2. With reverse Joker Doom, you have to get all 3 exactly. And in most of the cases where you have to do it, especially Ultros 4, you also have a time limit too, because you have to finish entering the slot reels before the muddle animation finishes, just because once it does, you lose control of Setzer. And if his slot reels are still spinning, he'll just do a normal attack on his turn. Then it's a lot easier to do when you have 4 characters, because just because you can you'll have more time because you'll have 2 animations to hit the reels. But for doing it on Ultros 4, it's pretty tight timing. So so shoutouts to Elmagus for getting it first try. So Elmagus is on the floating continent now, which like we alluded to earlier, there's a battle you can get with ninjas, which is inescapable. So if you get a ninjas as a preemptive, generally runners will use as Joker Gnome to kill them, but if it's not a preemptive, it's generally easier to have Terra use a Thunder Rod to kill them. Both for safety, because they can potentially kill Setzer before you can. Oh, and here's a ninja battle right here too. Both because they could potentially.
Oh man,
kill Setzer,
ninjas!
and also because they can. I think their water skiing attack will mess with the RNG for slots.
Yeah, luckily Terra at this point does have enough HP to survive.
So if they hadn't leveled up Terra, I mean, Flame Eater would have been a slower fight. Ultros 3, which the other runners would be fighting shortly, would have been slower. The Imperial Air Force would have been a lot riskier because of a lot more risk of dying. And then getting ninjas would be pretty much an automatic death, I would think, unless you either get a preemptive or just get lucky with them doing regular attacks instead of throwing at schemes. Okay, so Dream Moon's about to fight Ultros 3, and there's a quick kill that you can get on Ultros 3, basically, where because you need to use, I think it's 4 total Thunder Rods in this route to beat Ultros here.
That would be right.
And if your timing is spot on as far as using them and then using the weight trick during some of the animations, then you can beat Ultros before he buffs himself. And
Magus got another ninja.
Wow. Ninjas want this to be a more fair race, I guess. but yeah, the third Ultros battle is meant to be a tutorial on Realm's Sketch command, but Sketch is pretty unreliable, and I think it's based on Realm's level too, which is much lower than you're expected to be at this point. So if you miss with Sketch, then you have a decent chance of dying because of Ultros using Tentacle, Lodestone, and other attacks. Which is why, if you can, like if your route lets you have enough rods, you're gonna want to kill Ultros just by running out his HP. Oh yeah, it's Atma split for Omegas.
Oh, is there a split there?
For Atma weapon, yeah. I already hit it. I'll bring it up on screen.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So, home stretch now. 2 or 3 checkpoints to go before the end of the relay. As much of a lead as Elmagus has too, I think we are still on pace to get under 30-minute spread too, which is my goal for this relay.
I believe we are, yeah.
That sync though.
Certainly heating up for, I mean, assuming no catastrophe befalls Elmagus, it's certainly heating up for second, third, and fourth place, though. It's too bad Essentia had that issue with the banquet, otherwise it would probably be pretty close to a three-way tie here.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately. But it looks like she's keeping fairly good pace with what she has so far, so... It looks like, honestly, at this point, it's El Magus's game to lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, due in no small part to Jenya's awesome FF5 run.
Oh, yeah.
Kabahi posted a pretty good time, too.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's here, but Kobahi's time was about less than a minute off of his PB, so he did a really good job.
Yeah, it was 49 seconds off by BB
Yeah.
with safety strats and saves.
Oh, and I don't have a bot command for the previous game runners, but if anybody missed the FF4 or 5 races, please hit up that paste bin link there and give a follow to the FF4 and 5 runners too. Both to see those games and also other stuff that they run too. And I'll of course be highlighting this this relay on both on my Twitch channel, and I'll upload it to my YouTube too.
So, in a 100% run, normally you would do some grinding where El Magus is, mainly because you would need to wait for Shadow.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, when we say 100%, that's a community category, which is where you get all characters and all espers, and it's at the end of the floating continent that the route starts to really diverge from any percent, just because you have to wait for Shadow. You can use that time to grind on naughties to learn extra magic. But this is an any percent run, which is so they're sadly Shadow has to pay the price for speed.
Yeah, it's not his favorite run in the world. Oh, the good thing though is that if you do sketch glitch and skip to the world of Ruin, Shadow is still alive. You can just go get him. It's great.
Yeah, this part that basically, yeah, that like Dream Room and LCC are on right now is the least favorite part of the run for everybody that does it, just because it's basically 11 minutes non-stop cutscenes in between when you reach the end of the Esper Mountain and when you get to leave for the floating continent. We often like to do things to abuse ourselves during this point, like I always like to kind of play a guessing game with how many hits Ifrit is going to get on Kefka during the storyline battle. I actually won during Essentia's practice stream last night too. I was guessing that he would hit with Fire 1 and then whiff on the other two and let down his team, and sure enough, that's what happened.
Aw, poor Ifrit. It's like Ifrit's brother or cousin. I don't know. It's
Ifrit, maybe Ifriti.
Ifrit. Yeah.
I'll show the splits again, since it's still a ways before any of the others get to Atmo weapon.
Looks like LCC has edged ahead of Dream Boom a little bit.
And then
Just by a tiny bit. Yeah.
this fight between Leo and Kefka here is a tad faster just to attack instead of use shock, which is very, very, very unfortunate because shock rocks. But a trick that they did about like 2.5 hours or so ago was to or like 2 hours or however many ago, was to move Bannon to the front row before he left the party, just because when General Leo is briefly under your control, he uses the same guest character slot in the game's memory, so that lets you just use fight to fight Kefka without having to open the menu to change Leo's row, which saves some time.
Oh, all these cutscenes. Beautiful cutscenes. Oh, we get to see a fight here. Yay, Essentia. Yay.
Yeah, a lot of people are kind of surprised at how much El Vegas has been tearing this up, given that he's not really that well known for running Final Fantasy VI. Kind of his bread and butter is generally more Final Fantasy Mystic Quest and Lufia 2 of late, but he, as far as I know, still has the second fastest any percent time behind LCC right now, even though he doesn't run the game too regularly.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know he ran this. And he's destroying it. He's good.
Well, he runs everything.
Yeah.
Quite literally. He's got good times in like Final Fantasy 4, 6, Chrono Trigger, Mystic Quest, Lufia 2, Ancient Cave, Donkey 2.
regular Lufia 2 too. Lufia 1, I think he's got the record in. And he can sing too, as we now know.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So Elmagus is coming up on the infamous fishing minigame. They want to catch fast-moving fish, in order to cure Sid, because Sid can either live or die after this point. But if he dies, you have a kind of a long cutscene, which is, granted, one of the most touching ones in the game, if you ask me. But it's long, so to beat the game as quickly as possible, he wants to cure Sid because it's faster. And if you're doing seed manipulation, you can actually manipulate the fish, but it is difficult. Setting up the seed is pretty easy if you know what you're doing. You just need to reset the game a certain number of times before starting a run. But when you get to this part, there's some timing elements to it too, as far as you needing to grab the fish and then get off the beach in very specific time frames. And I think there's one point too where you need to pause before reapproaching the beach. And if you do all of that perfectly, you can get the best possible fish pattern, which is curing Sid in 4 cycles. You do have to do a save and reset as part of setting that up, which adds about the time equivalent of 2 visits to the beach into it. But getting a 6 cycle Sid is still really good, if you're doing it blind, like pretty much everybody does that runs this game.
Oh yeah. By the way, you called this a mini game, and I feel I don't know. That doesn't feel appropriate because you win this game, yay, you get off the island. You lose it, someone dies. It's sad. Actually, I
Well-
never liked Sid as a kid. I was okay with him dying.
At least you're not doing mouth to mouth and having no option to win or lose. You just do it.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah,
in
good
Final Fantasy
old
VII.
FF7.
Yeah,
I never
would-
understood why Sid was wearing a raincoat.
Yeah. I did not know that you could save either Sid or Shadow the first time I played this game, and I was massively underwhelmed at saving Sid when I did so my second run because I mean, you skip a cutscene, you just have some extra text instead, and then if you come back to the island after getting the airship, Sid just says the same thing he did before you cured him, regardless of whether Celis is with you or not.
Great job.
Yep. I mean, I think there's a couple things that disappointed me a bit about the World of Ruin, but I understand a lot of it now just because they were going for a very non-linear kind of second act to the game, and because of how much freedom they give you to do stuff in your own order or not at all. That means having to sacrifice a lot of potential storyline stuff, like interactions between characters. I mean, like, I mean, one thing I was disappointed too is that when you get Tritok Esper, that they don't really do much with that either, given that the frozen Esper in the mines was what kind of set off the whole story to begin with. But overall, I think it works to have kind of a linear world of balance and a non-linear world of ruin.
Yeah,
It makes speedrunning this game very fun and interesting too for routing, just because of how much freedom you have after getting the airship in the World of Ruin. If you're doing a glitchless run, which doesn't allow use of Joker Doom, then that kind of adds a whole new dimension to the speedrun routing too, just because you do have to gain some more levels to become strong enough to beat the final bosses. So then which characters you level up and what espers you equip to raise their stats, what spells you learn, that's all up to you. And it's I find it tons of fun to mess around with. Like Elmagus and others are still egging me on to do a lock run, which is something I've seen Japanese runners do, which is where you get lock in an any percent run and then do some stuff to make him a powerhouse.
Looks like Elmagus is having a bit of a hard time with Fish, but he's just one dialogue box away from winning, so perhaps these two will do it.
Well, I know LCC is going to go for pro bass fishing, as we call it. So
Well, I'll try. It's tough though.
It is tough. I mean, it might even be harder than reverse Joker Doom, I would say, to do the fish manipulation, just because of how tight some of the timing is.
But sometimes even if you do screw it up, you'll just get lucky anyways, and you're fine. Although ideally you wouldn't want to do that on like the first one or two, because then it would throw the whole thing off.
Oh yeah, I forgot too. Actually, we need to be timing people's fishing too, because that's actually an incentive.
Okay, that one was fast.
Mm-hmm.
Not a very good time for
Yeah, we kind of failed in our commentary duties there, but we'll get it back out of the VODs in about half an hour. As for the fishing incentive, we'll basically figure out how long it takes from when they gain control of Celis until the I feel much better text box from Sid, and then whoever does it the fastest wins, basically, and then it's ranked by time. Alright, so LCC is fighting the Imperial Air Force now, and you can generally one-shot them with Terra with Ramu and earrings to boost her magic stat. Sometimes the Spitfire, I believe the red armor on the left, can survive Ramu and then needs to get smacked by Setzer or Sabin to finish off, but the other two will always die to Ramu with this level. What they're hoping for here too is to get good luck with Terra's ATB so that she can summon Ramu before the armors do stuff like cast Absolute Zero or Tech Laser, just because it's not too common to get in danger of actually losing, but if characters get killed or take heavy damage, then that costs time because you have to open the menu to cure. And Sabin dying is kind of bad too, just because he's working on learning Doom, which costs 50 magic points. So
if he dies too much and then you don't get a ninja fight, you actually have to grind for a second Cactrot in the World of Ruin, which really sucks.
Yeah.
But most of the time, you'll get at least one ninja or he'll survive enough battles on here, so...
Almagus just rescued Sabin too. You don't actually have to do this before getting the airship, but if you do it, it makes the Tentacles boss battle coming up much safer and a bit faster too. And it pretty much evens out on time too, because the main reason for doing it after getting the airship is because you can get Mog, and Mog has an accessory that lets you avoid all random encounters. So if you do it now, you have to run away from a couple of battles in the house, but then if you do it later, you have to come back. So it kind of roughly equalizes on time, and then saves you time on the Tentacles.
Yeah, I think overall it's a good idea to get him here.
And in an any percent run, they beat the game with 6 total characters. You have to get Celis, Edgar, and Setzer as part of the story, but then once you get the airship, you kind of have freedom to do whatever else you want before going to Kefka's Tower and trying to beat the game. And with the route they're all using, they're going to be getting Sabin, Mog, and Gogo.
Yeah, Gogo's really important to get because he also has slots.
Yeah,
so
Gogo can use any one of the other characters' special battle commands, along with Mimic, which just repeats the last action that one of your characters took.
Yeah, in normal playthroughs he's nice, in this he's super broken.
Yeah, his usefulness kind of deteriorates in normal playthrough just because Gogo isn't capable of equipping Espers, so you can't raise his stats above the base. So other characters will outpace him if you're equipping Espers to raise their stats. But with the levels you're at in a speedrun, then Gogo's incredible, both because of his mimic abilities and also just because of equipment he can equip to boost his magic stat. And he can use Joker Doom too.
Yeah, that's slightly good. That's pretty good. It's a fine skill.
Right. LCC fighting Ultros 4 now. This is one of the battles where you can't get 777 on the slots, and you have to use a trick called Reverse Joker Doom. And he's summoning Phantom because when you have Vanish, you have no evasion whatsoever to magic. Because if you don't have to do it, but it adds a little bit of a risk element, because if there's a slight chance that Muddle can miss Setzer, and if that happens, then you die, basically, because Setzer has to get confused and then unconfused before doing Joker Doom in order to activate the glitch and reverse the targeting to hit Ultros. So vanishing him before you cast Muddle will guarantee that it hits him.
Yeah, I know. Essentia, at least when she talked to me about these fights, was always the most scared with the Ultros fight, just because it's the first time you have to do it during the course of the run. You've had like 3 hours to get unwarmed up for it.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you can't practice right before.
Yeah, my last Japanese any percent run, I did really, really badly on the floating continent with slots, even though I'd warmed up before starting, and I got it 20 times in a row in practice. Yeah, 3 hours is a long time.
It sure is. It sure is. All right, and Dream Bomb is going for it. Looks like he nailed it. Good, good.
All right, so everybody that's gotten there has gotten it first try. Hopefully, Essential will get it too. Little minor part of the route here too is that they want to learn Bolt 2 with Terra, ideally from the 10 magic points they get from killing Atmo weapon, and that's for use on the naughties that you have to fight when you're leaving the floating continent, just because they're inescapable, and there's also 2 that are forced when you step on certain tiles. And with the level and magic power stat that Terra has, she can generally come pretty close to one-shotting them with Bolt 2, and if she doesn't, then like another character doing an attack should finish it off.
I always love how the dragon uses revenge. His opening attack.
Yeah. The fact that they I mean, that's something they had to code too, to make it add revenge to their moveset for the first turn.
Just so you know, revenge deals whatever damage you've already dealt to that enemy. And so as an opening attack, you've done nothing. He does 0. 0 damage.
LCC with the ninjas there. So yeah, I mean, even though you generally don't want to get ninjas because they're both dangerous and cost time because you can't run away, it can work out that fighting ninjas saves you from having to grind a little bit later too, just because they're worth 5 magic points, and just because Sabin is learning a pretty expensive spell right now that costs 50 magic points. Getting ninjas can sometimes make the difference between the...
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I think Sabin died in 2 or 3 fights at the IAF, so it could be good for me at this point. But more than one is always bad.
Yeah, but still, he got that Thunder Rod out before anything could happen, so that was good.
Yeah, as long as Terra is at full HP, you're generally not going to die to ninjas, even if both of them get skeins off before you do it. I mean, that's not good for getting magic points for Sabin, because he'll be dead if he gets double skeened, but you're not going to lose the run over it. Alright. RIP epic boss music on Atmo weapon. This gets taken down with Joker Doom.
Yeah, that's so sad. You should really try to fight it longer, man.
I'll try. We can do like slow strat.
Well,
slow strat.
Yeah, you could always mess it up and have him cast flares, then you have to pause and try to math your way out of it.
Yeah, and if anyone's wondering why I'm getting so far out of Dreambound, it's because he didn't get the Charm Bangle, so he's fighting a lot more fights than I would have to. Because we were about even earlier on, but you can see like he's not even at
that was because you got a glitch then, where one of the soldiers you fought didn't count.
Yeah, he killed it when it was at 0, I think, and I wasn't sure.
Yeah, because with the banquet timer, it forces you to start the banquet immediately when the timer runs out. I think it just rips you out of the fight if you're in the middle of one. So I guess it did that before registering when it did one, which is
Yeah,
unfortunate. But
it is unfortunate.
we continue.
But we'll get to see the difference between Ascension Dream Bomb's encounter luck. I'm just curious to see if this will end up putting him behind her eventually. I don't think it will. But I'm curious.
It's tough to say. It
Yeah.
depends on how many inescapable battles in the tower.
Sounding like Essentia paused for about a little over 4 minutes too during the opera, so I guess we'll have to see if that would make a difference in the places at the end of the race.
She'd be probably ran where Dreambound is right now if she didn't. So I don't know. So much hate.
Get ready to split for Almagus.
Yep.
And I guess Dreambomb too.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure that I would get the 7 right away.
Yeah, missing slots on Atma weapon is really bad.
Yeah.
I seem to feel it.
really
just
bad.
it.
Like, it can both kill people with flare, and at the same time, flare changes it drastically. Like it has like 87 or something, so it can get really dicey.
So you see, even though LCC and Dream Boom started Floating Continent at the same time, it took Dream 3 more minutes than it took LCC because of that charm bangle. So it's gonna really play a big factor for the rest of the run.
Oh man, I found that I have some hate mail in Twitch.
Nice.
Oh yeah, this is the kind of stuff that you can't read out loud. Oh no.
Yeah, I think compared to Almagus, I think I'm behind him by about a minute or two. Like if we were both starting at the same time. That's mainly because of the Velt.
I had a 353 for the balance, if you want to compare.
Also Essentia with the Vostroco Doom.
Oh
Nice,
yay, Essentia. Great. Good. I don't know if you can hear me, but good.
I think she has the stream up on her tablet, so she can hear us.
Well, good.
How many reverse Joker Dooms were there over the entire game?
3 or 4, depending on how many you do on the final battle.
Alright, there's 3 on Kafka. Okay.